Hi, I'm Jenna, and I am in search of Natasha Denona. I'm an eyeshadow addict. I love eyeshadow. I create an entire YouTube channel dedicated to it. If you love eyeshadow content, be sure to subscribe before you leave. I have to admit, I'm not a big Natasha Denona fan. I was watching Once Upon a Makeup Brush here on YouTube, and she was trying Eny Rain's Enchanted Forest, I believe it was, for the first time. And at the end, she compared the matte formula to Natasha Denona and Pat McGrath. I haven't tried Pat McGrath yet, but I do have a couple of Natasha Denona palettes, and it just got me to thinking, what is it that I don't reach for them? Why do so many people love them, and I don't understand. So that's why I'm doing a deep dive into this video. I will be using my two Natasha Denona palettes separately, and then I will be bringing in my top 3 favorite matte formulas, and I will be comparing them and seeing what is it that maybe I don't like, or try to figure it out. I'm going to be using Sydney Grace, Eny Rain, and Melt Cosmetics. I'm pretty excited about this because I'm comparing my favorite matte shadows, and maybe at the end I'll figure out which one is my favorite. And will I like Natasha Denona, or will I finally figure out why I don't like Natasha Denona? So here we go. We're in search of Natasha Denona. Let's get started. All right, I'm going to start out with the Glam palette, and I'm just going to be pointing as I go along. So I'm going to be talking. Hopefully I can talk and do eyeshadow at the same time. I first want to start out by saying I think part of the problem for me is I have a bit of expectation letdown. Not with Natasha Denona, but on my part, and I'm going to explain. Years ago, when I first started watching makeup tutorials on YouTube, I followed a channel. Her name is Nicole Renee. She's unfortunately not on here anymore. I don't know what happened, but she deleted her YouTube channel and her Instagram. She was one of my favorite YouTubers on here. I could come on here and like literally watch her for hours doing her eyeshadow, especially. That's what I loved. But she was actually the first person that I had ever heard of talking about Natasha Denona. She was a huge Natasha Denona fan. And this was years ago, like the midi and mini palettes, that's a mouthful, were not even around. These were like the $125 palettes, and then I believe they had the 200, I don't remember how much those were, like around 230 or something like that. But that was just way too much for me. Even now, I cannot picture myself spending that much money on an eyeshadow palette. But she was a huge Natasha Denona fan. And I just remember I would watch her use the palettes and just rave about how fantastic the formula was and how other formulas did not compare. So I guess in my mind, I had built it up to like maybe Natasha Denona had like some reinvented formula or something. I don't know what it is. But I think partly I did build it up in my mind that these eyeshadows were just uncomparable to other eyeshadows, I guess. So when the midi palette came out, the first one, which I believe was the bronze palette, because that was the first one that I picked up, and that was $65. And at that time, that was the most I had ever paid for an eyeshadow palette, which I thought was just such a lot. Well, it is. It's a lot of money. I mean, even now. So when the mini palettes came out, I was so excited. I mean, it was still a lot of money, but it was a chance to actually finally try this formula that I had heard about for so long. So I had ordered my palette up. Expectations were high, to say the least. And then when I got it, I used it, and I had like a little mishap with it, which I'm going to be explaining in the next eyeshadow look. And it kind of just, I don't know, with being like, the expectations of it and being so excited for it, and then I had a bit of a mishap with it. It just kind of threw me off, but I used it, and I just found the formula to be okay. Like, I think in my mind, it was just, I had raised the bar so high. I just don't think that it would ever have actually lived up to that bar. I'm gonna go in with this one. The shimmers are pretty, they just don't wow me. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm gonna go on this on the bottom line. All right, I'm gonna go through and blend a little bit more, finish up my makeup, and I'll be right back. Okay, I want to start off by saying that I know I'm new to YouTube, but something that you should know about me is I am a very honest person, maybe to a default. And I don't mean to be honest to hurt anybody's feelings. It's just my personal opinion, and as time has gone by, I know my preferences have changed. Like years ago, there's no way I would have done indie makeup. That would have been like, wait, I would have looked at indie makeup like, whoa, that's too much for me. But I love indie makeup now, and I just feel like this is just meh. I just feel, and this is the final look. I'm gonna let you guys see how it looks. The mattes are okay. I'm gonna keep my eye on it and see how they wear throughout the day. I'm not done. I'm still gonna use the Glam palette again. I'm gonna be using these probably throughout the next couple of weeks, and we'll see if my opinion changes. But as of right now, I'm not happy with the look. So we're gonna go into the next look, and then I'm gonna explain what kind of threw me off in the beginning of Natasha Denona. Alright, so I'm going to go in with the bronze palette. And I do want to start off by saying that I grabbed the wrong color a minute ago. That's not what I want to start. That when I left here yesterday, I went to go check my visor mirror in the car. You know those mirrors, they do not lie. And I have to say that I really did like the way the mattes turned out. They looked really good up close. The shimmers still were not my favorite, but I mean, I love Milk Cosmetics mattes, and their shimmers are definitely not my favorite. So what happened, this was the first palette that I bought, and here, from late spring to late fall, it's hot here, and I mean, it's hot. And I was outside, I work outside a lot. It was the first time I tried it. I don't remember which shades I used, but I went out, I wasn't home, went out to go do some stuff. It was so super hot, and all of a sudden, like, I don't know if it was the shimmers or what it was, but my eyelids start getting so irritated. Like, all I wanted to do was like just rub them and go wash it off, but I wasn't home. So I was super disappointed that I had bought this palette after hearing for so long what great formula it was, paying all this money, and then it was irritating my eyes. And I wasn't the only one, but I did see other people comment that were irritating their eyes. Then I was like, well, it's not just me. And then to pay that much money, it was just a real turn off. And then, I mean, it was hot. I didn't want to continue to keep trying the formula when it was hot. And then to not make this a really long video, I'm just going to go ahead and speed up the process, and then I'm going to see you guys at the other end, okay? Alright guys, this is the final look. I will say I'm very happy with the way that it turned out today. I really love the way the mattes look. I have to say that I just wish there was more of a variety in here. I mean, even with the shimmers, I don't know what these two are doing in here. I never understood that. Like, just give me a dark brown. Can I just have a dark brown? Anyways, from the looks from here on, I will be using Natasha Denona along with Melt, one with Eny Rain, and then one with Sydney Grace, and we're going to really start comparing them. Very excited because these are my top matte shadow formulas that I love from these brands, and I'm very excited to see how they perform with each other, and maybe I'll figure out which one I like best by the end of this video. All right, let's go on to the next look. Today I'm going to go in with Cold Moon and the Glam palette. I'm just going to pick the shades that are similar. There's not a whole lot that are alike, but there are some that are similar enough where I don't think it's going to be in there, and I'm not really going anywhere today, so it's fine. I'll tap in with this one and a little bit of this one. And I will be wiping the brush off in between uses. Then I'm going to go back in and just blend the edges out a little bit. I can say so far, the Eny Rain shadows do seem to be a bit more powdery. And the shadows do seem to be blending just a tad bit better on the Natasha Denona side together. These just really have a really nice blend, and then this one you can just see the gray kind of sitting on top a little bit on that side. I'm going to go with this with Forbidding. All right, I'm going to go finish up and I'll be right back. All right, guys, this is the finished look. All right, hands down, Natasha Denona won this. I mean, the blendability, it's there. It is not moving. I still think Eny Rain has a fantastic matte formula. I prefer it over many other indie brands, but Natasha Denona won this one. Very happy with it, very happy. I like both looks. I think they both turned out great, but she won. All right, let's go on to the next look where we're going to be comparing them to another brand. All right, today I'm going to be using Natasha Denona and Sydney Grace. I'm just going to be using my multiple palettes to create somewhat of a cohesive look, see if we can get something similar. So I'm going to tap into this one first, and I'm going to put Natasha Denona on this side today. And then I'm going to tap into this one from the Love's Journey palette. I wiped off the brush and now I'm going to tap into Crunching Leaves. I wiped the brush off and now I'm tapping into the Love's Journey palette. Alright, for the shimmer, I'm going to go in with this one from the Heaven and Earth palette from Sydney Grace. I'm going to go in with this one. This is Last Hope from Sydney Grace. Alright, I'm going to go finish my makeup up and I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm going to show you guys the final look. This is hard. This one is very, very, very hard. These two brands are so similar. I feel like Sydney Grace is a bit more pigmented in some ways. I don't know if I can even choose, to be completely honest with you. I feel like the outer corner where it's a little bit darker is a bit more pigmented, but on the Natasha Denona side, it blended in just a little bit seamlessly. I mean, it blended beautifully. This one blended too. Oh my goodness, it's just, I don't know. I think Sydney Grace wins on pigmentation, but the Natasha Denona side, the blendability is incredible. I don't know. Which one do you guys think? Sydney Grace, Natasha Denona. I can't choose. I cannot choose. This is really taking an interesting turn of events. This is not how I pictured the video going. Wow. I'm in shock right now. I'm in shock. And the next eye look will be Natasha Denona and Melt Cosmetics. I don't know. I'm really interested. This is very interesting. All right, let's go check it out. All right, guys, today we are going with Natasha Denona and Melt Cosmetics. I'm pretty excited about this. We're gonna see how it turns out. I'm just gonna fast forward and I'll see you on the other side. All right, this is the final look. I just want to say I love this look. I love how it turned out. I think it's so perfect for winter. It's like that cold, dark winter with just a peek of sunshine peeking through sometimes. But back to the shadows. Before I did this video, I knew there were some good formulas out there from brands, but these have knocked me off my chair. I can't believe it. These formulas are so good. Like, I did not even realize. I think I do like the Melt formula over the Sydney Grace from the previous video, but I just can't believe it. I just can't believe it. I do feel both sides got a little muddy up here. That was mainly because I had to use so many shadows to try to get it to be cohesive, because I do have to go somewhere after this. So I feel like they both sides did get a bit muddy, but I mean, they both blended in, they're pigmented. Oh my gosh, that's why I love the Melt so much. And I don't know why I didn't realize how pigmented Natasha Denona was before this. So they're both fantastic. I don't know if I think I do like Melt just a tad bit more than the Natasha Denona. But I'm shocked that I even like the Natasha Denona this much, which I think I've just come to the conclusion that I think it's just the color stories that don't draw me in, because I feel like with these palettes, no matter, anytime I use them, I come out with the same look. I mean, the shimmers are all basically the same, and once you get the mattes on and blended, it's kind of hard to tell one from another. And I don't know, maybe there'll be a Natasha Denona palette out there. Maybe you guys can recommend one for me where when you use it, the look is completely different, you get different looks from it. And I don't know, I think I may be adding a Natasha Denona palette to my collection. I mean, who knows? I really, really like the formula. I mean, that one, this one, and Melt, oh my goodness, that is like a dream come true. I hope you guys enjoyed this or found it informative or helpful in some way. And if you did like it, please give it a like. That way I know you guys did like it, and to keep doing videos like this. Which side do you guys prefer? You guys like the melt? We got melt and we got Natasha Denona. So you guys tell me, which one do you guys prefer? I hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and I hope to see you again. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.